It's text number 17. Shivanuvacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya. Savaguna Sakyaya. Savaguna Sakyanya. Ananta Vyaktaya Namaiti. Avyantayaktavya Namaiti. Avyantayaktavya Imaniti. Shivaganuvacha. Jetzt machen wir einfach Wort zu Wort. The most powerful Lord Shiva says, Om Namo Bhagavate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Mahapurushaya. Who are the Supreme Person? Savaguna Sakyanya. The reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Anantaya. The unlimited. Avyaktaya. Not manifested within the material world. Namaha. My respectful obeisances. Iti. Thus. The most powerful Lord Shiva says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. In your expansion as Lord Shankarshan, you are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifested to the non-devotees. And I will read the next two verses and then there is a purport. O my Lord, you are the only worshipable person, for you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all opulence. Your secure lotus feet are the only source of protection for all your devotees, whom you satisfy by manifesting yourself in various forms. O my Lord, you deliver your devotees from the clutches of material existence. Non-devotees, however, remain entangled in material existence by your will. Kindly accept me as your eternal servant. Verse 19. We cannot control the force of our anger. Therefore, when we look at material things, we cannot avoid feeling attraction or repulsion for them. But the Supreme Lord is never affected in this way. Although he glances over the material world for the purpose of creating, maintaining, and destroying it, he is not affected even in the slightest degree. Therefore, one who desires to conquer the forces of the senses must take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he will be victorious. So here's a purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always equipped with inconceivable potencies. Although creation takes place by his glancing over the material energy, he is not affected by the modes of material nature. Because of his eternal transcendental position, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in this material world, the modes of material nature cannot affect him. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is called Transcendence. And anyone who wants to be secure from the influence of the modes of material nature must take shelter of him. And then we read the first verse again. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Savaguna Shakyatya Anantaya Vyatakya Namati. The most powerful Lord Shiva says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you in your expansion as Lord Shankarshan. You are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifested to the non-devotees. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachadine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschachade Shatadine. So these are very, very beautiful verses, these are prayers that Lord Shiva is offering. And it's always said that a bird can only fly as high as the wings can take it. And in the same way, when a person is offering prayers, they will only be as full of transcendental knowledge as this person has realizations. So these prayers, they are very full. And why are they very full? Because Lord Shiva has very deep realizations. And even the way the first verse starts, it starts Shri Bhagavan Vacha. And normally one would think that when we speak about Bhagavan, we speak about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in this verse, Bhagavan refers to Lord Shiva, because in the word-to-word translation, Shri Bhagavan Vacha is translated, the most powerful Lord Shiva says. So, who is this Lord Shiva? What does we know about Lord Shiva? So Lord Shiva, he is known by many names. One of his names is Mahadev. Mahadev, he is the greatest of the demigods. And he also has another name. He's also known as Ashutosh. And Ashutosh means a personality who can very, very easily be pleased, and who grants instant the wishes of his worshippers. So that may be one reason why in India you will see that Lord Shiva, he is very often worshipped, because people perform worship not out of love, but in order to gain something. And therefore they worship Lord Shiva. So, but he is himself he is also known as, in the 12th canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam, there is a verse where the Ganges is glorified as the most holy river, and Lord Shiva is glorified as Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He is glorified as the greatest devotee of all. And Vishnu is glorified as the supreme, and the Srimad-Bhagavatam is glorified as the greatest scripture. So that Shiva is glorified as the greatest devotee, you can understand also from these prayers, he has a very deep understanding. And he speaks about, in these prayers, he speaks about how Krishna, he has all transcendental qualities, and he's unlimited, but still he's saying that Krishna, he has the free will to remain not seen by the non-devotees. So he is covered. He can choose whether he wants to reveal himself or not. So this is Lord Shiva's realization. And Lord Shiva, he wanted very much to understand, and because Lord Shiva, he heard also about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. So he wanted very much to be, as a bhakta, he wanted very much to be part of the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. So he came to Vrindavan in order to become part, and he had especially a deep desire to be part of the rasa dance, but he was in a male body. But then when he came to Vrindavan, he was changed into a female body by Purnamasi and by taking a special bath. But he was so eager, and so that he didn't even, although he was in a female body, he didn't understand his real identity as a gopi. So he journeyed to the place of the rasa dance, and he was accepted by the other gopis. But they were kind of like asking him, "Who are you? What is your name? From which village does you come?" And he couldn't answer because he was in such a hurry to become part. And then they understood something is not. He may not be a real new coming gopi. There is something strange about him. So Purnamasi, she came and she told the gopis, "No, this is Mahadev. This is Lord Shiva." And because he was not able to completely absorb the mood of the gopis, he couldn't enter the intimate dance, the rasa dance. So he was very devastated because that was what he wanted. But then Purnamasi gave him a very special service. He said, "You can be the guard. You can make sure that nobody who is not qualified can enter." And in this way, Lord Shiva became the guard of the Dharma. And this is one of his names is Gopishvara Mahadev. And there's a very beautiful temple in Vrindavan where he's worshipped as Gopishvara Mahadev. Sometimes at special times during the day, if you come there, you will see that the form of Shiva, which is usually a Shiva lingam, is dressed very beautifully with flowers and dresses of the gopi. So sometimes he's worshipped like that in Vrindavan. And actually, when you come to Vrindavan, you need, if you want to enter the Dharma, you have to get the mercy of Lord Shiva. You have to be able to, because he is the greatest devotee of Krishna. He has something very special because he has Krishna Bhakti. So he is always giving Krishna Bhakti, but he is also at the same time protecting the Dharma. So there are more forms of Lord Shiva. Especially there are 4 different places in Vrindavan where Lord Shiva is placed as the protector of the Dharma. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that in the 4th canto he mentions that actually the devotees of Krishna, they are also devotees of Lord Shiva. And we don't have much, if we see a Shiva Lingam or something, we just walk by. We don't make a special effort to offer respect to Lord Shiva. But we should, because he is the personality who, when we have his mercy, then we can very easily and in a very protected way understand the pastimes of Krishna and get entrance into the holy Dham. So Lord Shiva, he is not so easy to understand, because from the external point of view, he doesn't look, he look very wild somehow. He is beautiful, but he look very, his dress he is smeared with ashes. He has snakes on his bodies. His hair is like matted and like dreadlocks, like he looks wild. And this was one of the reasons that and also his company. He's always in the company of ghosts and witches and evil spirits and some kinds of creatures which have no other shelter. Lord Shiva gives them shelter. So he's very difficult to understand, because if you look at the outside, then you think, who is this personality? He's so strange. But actually he has this very, very pure heart of a devotee. And he is very merciful to the most fallen. And he's known for crying tears of compassion. There is even in Vrindavan, there is a lake which is made of his tears. Rudrakund. This is a special lake in Vrindavan. There's also a forest in Vrindavan, Rudravan, where Lord Shiva resides in Vrindavan. But there's a lake which is made from his tears, which he cried because he understood the fallen condition of the fallen souls. So he was feeling so sad and so full of compassion that he was crying tears. So his heart is very, very pure, and we can also see in these prayers, he is showing this concern. He is speaking, especially in these prayers, he is speaking about your secure lotus feet are the only source of protection for all your devotees, whom you are satisfying by manifesting yourself in various forms. O my Lord, you deliver your devotees from the clutches of material existence. Non-devotee, however, remain entangled in the material existence by your will. Kindly accept me as your eternal servant. So he has this deep understanding that the Lord is there for his devotees, and the devotees, they get protection by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. And that the devotees, they are delivered from the material existence. And the material existence is like a burning fire. And Lord Shiva, he has a service within the material existence, and his service is the destruction. In the end, when the universe is destroyed, then Lord Shiva, he will dance. And his dance, it says, Lord Shiva, he has 3 eyes. He has that's where this third eye vision comes from Lord Shiva. So he has 2 eyes, which are like the sun and the moon, and the third eye is like fire. So this enormous energy. When he's dancing, he's playing on a special drum. It's called a dim-dim drum. It has, there are some imitations of these drums. It's like a drum with two balls, and when you swing it, the balls are going forth and back, ding, ding, ding. So this is a very nice drum. So he's playing his drum, and then he's dancing. You can see some of the dances on this picture here. And that dance is so powerful that the universes are destroyed. That's his service. Mm-hmm. So Brahma, he is the creator. Vishnu, he is maintaining the material existence. And Shiva, he is the destroyer. And whenever the universe is destroyed, all the living entity also has to leave. And of course, all the living entities who are very fallen and very like in a wretched position, Lord Shiva, he will take care of all those souls also. He will take them. They will be part of his association when he's leaving. So Lord Shiva is difficult to understand, and we usually, as devotees, we don't worship him. But he has very special qualities, and his qualities of compassion and his knowledge and his kindness to the living entities, we should understand, and we should have great respect for Lord Shiva. It says that in the fourth canto, it's explained how Daksha, he was because Shiva is not so easy to understand. So Daksha's daughter got married to Lord Shiva, but Daksha couldn't understand who he is, because he could see his external and the persons who were surrounding him. So he kind of like, who is this person? He is so strange. So he cursed him, that the followers of Lord Shiva, they will become Mayavadis. So usually when the people who follow Lord Shiva, they are usually not Vaishnavas. Usually they worship Lord Shiva for some material gain, or they have like this philosophical misunderstanding. But at the same time, the snakes on Lord Shiva's body, they will if you don't realize Krishna's personality, or you don't worship like Vrindavan or the holy places of Krishna, then the venomous snakes on Lord Shiva will bite you. So at the same time, his own followers, they are not really Krishna bhaktas, but at the same time, he is trying, to rectify them, and slowly bring them on a higher platform. But we will follow what Srila Prabhupada says, and we will offer our respects to Lord Shiva, but we will always see Lord Shiva not as the person who gives quick benedictions, but we will see Lord Shiva as the person who has pure Krishna Bhakti, and who gives that Krishna Bhakti, and who is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. Vaishnavanam Yatam Shambhu, the greatest of all Vaishnavas. That's how we would see Lord Shiva. I don't know, maybe there are some questions or comments to this. Yes.
Can you explain more clearly what is a Mayavadi? Maybe it's not for everyone.
A Mayavadi is a person who, there are different kinds of realizations. We usually speak about, there is the realization of Krishna as a person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is the realization as Krishna within the heart, as the Paramatma. And then there's the realization of the Brahma Jyoti, which is like the effulgence of Krishna, which is everywhere. So all of these three realizations, they are what you call it? They are right. All of these three, they are just different levels. But there is another realization where you do not want to understand that Krishna is a person. So you stay in the realization of the Brahman, but with a negative understanding that there is no person. There is no supreme person. A Brahmavadi is somebody else. A Brahmavadi, he may completely understand the Brahman and realize the Brahman, the all-pervade, how everything is connected and how everything is. But the Mayavadi, he will say everything is one. There is no individuality. There is no personality. There is no. We are all one. So this is what a Mayavadi would say. This is, and Prabhupada, we say Prabhupada's pranam mantra. We say Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. We say that Srila Prabhupada, he came to destroy the Mayavadi and the impersonalist philosophers. These are two persons who are it's exactly the opposite of the Vaishnava tradition. Because the Vaishnava tradition is a deeply personal tradition. And that's why even on this, we have this most beautiful altar, and it's, if we really, we can look at it, but if we really try to understand who are all these personalities, there are so many different personalities. Even on this little altar, we have so many different personalities. And the more we understand Krishna's personality, Srimati Radharani's personality, the personality of Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, then there is Giri Govardhan, and then we have, I'm sure there are at least 5 or 6 different incarnations of Krishna within the Shilas. You have Varaha, who do you have? Kurma, Matsya, Nishingadev. So we have, and there's also a picture of Nishingadev, and then we have all the personalities who are the teachers, who are also really individual personalities. So the whole Vaishnava philosophy, that's why I chose to speak about Lord Shiva's personality, because that's a way for us to learn that we are individuals, we are personalities, and we worship Krishna also as a person. And that's also what Lord Shiva is saying in this verse. He's saying that Krishna, he is so kind to his devotees that he will, how is he saying it? You will manifest yourself in various forms. So Krishna, even Lord Shiva, he is acknowledging and speaking about Krishna. You're the Supreme Person, you are unlimited, you have all transcendent qualities, but for your devotees, what are you doing for your devotees? You come in different forms. Whatever the devotees' love is, you will reciprocate with that love and show yourself in a special form. And Shiva, he wanted to see the Vrindavan Krishna. There are some prayers, I think it's Lord Chaitanya, he is offering. When he is traveling in South India, he is coming to a Shiva temple and he is offering the prayers to Lord Shiva. And there are Shivastakam, it's like 8 prayers to Lord Shiva that Lord Chaitanya is offering to Lord Shiva. And in these prayers, Lord Shiva is glorified as the servant of Govinda. So Shiva wants to be the servant of the Vrindavan Krishna, of Govinda. He is not just he has a service for Krishna, and his service is that he's in charge of the mode of ignorance. That's his service, and his service is also that he is the destroying the universe. That's his personal service, but his mood of service, his personal relationship, is the relationship with the Vrindavan Krishna. So that's very important. And all of the personalities, the more we come to know about each and every personality, the more we would find within ourselves appreciation for these qualities. If you understand how Lord Shiva, he is crying out of compassion, a whole lake full of tears, then of course you will have respect for him. You will next time you come and you see a Shiva Lingam, you should do like the Brijbasis are doing. They will take water from a nearby kund and they will bathe the Shiva Lingam. That's how they do. We usually don't show that much respect, but we should, because Lord Shiva, he is guiding, he is the protector of the Dham. And if we want to gain entrance, he's like the gatekeeper. If we want to gain entrance, we should offer our respect. And the Mayavadi, he is the... I remember one time I was in the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, and there has just been Artik, and the incense were in the air, the flowers were thrown out, and everybody was very reverential to Krishna Balaram. And I was standing next to a person, an Indian person, and I was like, so? Kind of like, are you also getting the mercy? I was kind of like, and he said, no, there is no person. And he's standing right in front of Krishna and Balaram. And he's like, it's like you're standing right, and he couldn't accept that Krishna is a person. And he didn't want to, and I could feel the envy to Krishna coming from him, and I kind of I had to move away because it was so strong. So that's Srila Prabhupada, he's always warning us, we should not have contact with persons who have this impersonal conception of God, that God is no person. We should avoid their association, because they from the Vaishnava standpoint of view, we understand the most important thing is the personality aspect. Because if you want to develop a loving relationship, you can only do it with a person. There has to be a person, there has to be qualities, there has to be personality. That's why also Krishna, he is so kind that he helps us on our way by coming in a form as the Archa Vigraha, which is a personal form that we can actually, although Krishna, he is completely transcendental, beyond the material nature. He comes in a form that we can, with this material eyes and with these material hands, we can make garlands, we can sew dresses, we can offer artik, we can see the form, we can offer prayers directly, and we can perform service with this material senses. So this is Krishna's very, very special mercy that he chooses, like Lord Shiva is saying here, Krishna chooses to come in various forms. So one of these forms that Krishna comes to us is the form of the deity, that we can offer our service. And it's not a material form. It may be initially, many years back, being carved from a special stone, but it's not stone, and Krishna is personally there. And it's only our, as it says in Brahma Samhita, Premanjuna Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, when the eyes are smeared with the salve of love, then we can actually see. So your eyes need to be purified with this love. And then you can, when you see Krishna, then you actually can see Krishna. Mm. Some other question or comment? I just realized when I started reading this verse how little I know about Lord Shiva. Usually we don't know very much about Lord Shiva. I know in Mayapur there's one deity that's a very special deity that's called Harihara, and this is half Shiva and half Vishnu. So that's a very special deity. It's in Mayapur. If you go on the parikram, you will come. One time we were doing the Mayapur parikram, and it was Shiva Ratri. This is the appearance day of Lord Shiva, and we went to this temple, and it was such a powerful mood there, because it was this one special day of the year. It was very beautifully decorated with flags, and people were coming. And usually Shiva is in the form of a Shiva lingam, but there he is actually in form of a deity. And he's like half is white and half is black, and he's called Harihara. And he's like sitting like a yogi, like this, very straight, very beautiful. I tried to find a picture at home, but in this short time I didn't find a picture of Harihara. But there is a special deity. But still, although here Lord Shiva, it says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, and it's like still Lord Shiva. He is not the supreme, but he has many qualities. If you see these 64 qualities of Krishna, I think Lord Shiva, he's maybe up to somewhere in the 50s, or 48, or so. He's somewhere, 2/3 maybe of the qualities of Krishna Lord Shiva has. Therefore, he's also said, Shri Bhagavan. He's very, very godly personality, but he's not the supreme. And I think that is the main problem with the worshippers of Lord Shiva, is that they think he is the supreme. Sometimes you get these telephone calls from Microsoft. It's so funny, because you get this telephone call where they say, "Oh, we are calling from Microsoft. You have to check on your computer. There's a virus." And they are always in India, these people. It's always some kind of. So I always ask, so are you also worshipping Lord Krishna? I don't even go to answer about the computer because it's so stupid. It doesn't. So one time I got this. Shiva, and he was, no, not Krishna. Shiva is the supreme, and he was so convinced about Shiva is the supreme, and at that moment, I was just amazed how Shambhu, Shambhu, Shambhu. But I forgot this Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. I should have said this verse to him, in that moment. But in that moment, I didn't remember. But he was so convinced Shiva is the supreme. But he's not. But he's very, very, very godly. But his heart is the heart of a pure Vaishnava. And he's also one of the 12 Mahajans. So he is one of the 12 spiritual authorities on the process of devotional service. So he's very, very learned at the same time. And this you can also understand from his prayers here. There will be more prayers of Lord Shiva coming in the end of the chapter also. And they're very clear and potent and personal about Krishna. So one can read his prayers and see that he's giving the perfect example of how to approach Krishna. Yeah.
Actually, this Harihara, what you mentioned, it's so nicely explained in Prema Vilas. Nityananda Das is explaining that actually Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of this Harihara form.
Yeah. There are so many, that's the whole idea. There are so many personalities. It's like unlimited personalities who are like helping and guiding and representing different, even each of the personalities who are coming into the material world as within the Guru Parampara, you will find knowledge. If you really study, you will find out who are they in the spiritual world, Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, and whoever. So everybody has a deep, deep personality. And this is actually one of our greatest challenges or wie heißt Aufgaben? This is one of our greatest tasks. It's one of the things we really have to figure out how to do. To get to know all of these different personalities more and more and more and more, And this will make us also rich. We will become very rich. The more we know about these different personalities, the more rich we will also become. Our own personality will also become rich by knowing about the divine personalities. And there are so many. And there are many of them are like really they have very interesting stories. So you can your mind and your intelligence and your thoughts can become completely absorbed when you try to learn about these different personalities. Something else?
Thank you, Manjula-mani. Soon again.
And we may also have our favorite personalities, kind of like. And that's also okay, because that's also what Lord Shiva says here, how Krishna, he will, according to the your secure lotus feet are the only source of protection for all of you devotees who you satisfy. That's a very interesting word. Who you satisfy by manifesting yourself in various forms. So that's what Lord Shiva is talking about. Krishna, he will be so kind that he will satisfy the devotees by coming in different forms. So we will come as Nishinga, Varaha. So, and the Bhagavatam is full of all the details We can find so many details in the Bhagavatam about the different incarnations of Krishna. And even like incarnations like Lord Buddha, we generally don't worship Lord Buddha, but Buddha is an incarnation of Krishna. Mhm. So there are different forms, and they come on different times. Mhm. And there's also like a special form, because usually you think about which would be the most important form. And if you look at it from a time perspective, usually the one which is timely the closest to you has the most significance for you. And our most timely, closest incarnation is the incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he comes as a form of Krishna, where he is his own devotee, where he is practicing devotional service. And he is also giving another very special form of the Lord. He's giving the form of the holy name. So Krishna, he is also coming in that really, it's like a whole ocean of mercy, that form of the Lord. It reaches everybody. And people may be completely unconscious. I mean, I was completely unconscious as a child. I would sing the Hare Krishna mantra. I had no idea what it was, but I just liked to sing. So this form is also a form of Krishna. So he would come to Krishna. Lord Shiva is saying that Krishna comes to satisfy his devotees with different forms. So the most relevant form for us is the form which is most close to us, and that's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he, through his mercy, the more advanced forms of Krishna, like the worship of, like we have here, the worship of Radha and Krishna, it will become revealed to us when we worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow the Dharma of this time, the Yuga Dharma. There's a special process which can lead us to self-realization for this time, and this is the chanting of the holy name. So this is also what Shiva is talking about, these different forms, how Krishna will satisfy, and he will help us, that there will be a process, how we can come to realize his pastimes, his form, his name, his all the different qualities. And that's for now. We have a very easy process. We can be very blessed. We just need to sing, dance, and take prasadam. Very simple. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.